Everybody. I think melody we need to change a little bit. So I want everybody to do a little faster than that. Om Ahom Bendan Guru Pema Siddhe Hom. 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 Om Bendan Guru Pema Siddhe Hom. Om Ahom 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 Bendan Guru Pema Siddhe Hom. So dear, you and I, we need to remember that when we recite the Guru Rinpoche mantra, make sure you visualize Guru Rinpoche, beautiful Thanga behind this bed down there on that wall. If you look at Guru Rinpoche. Now, these are give you some idea, but painting is not Guru Rinpoche. The picture represents Guru Rinpoche. And real Guru Rinpoche, we need to be visualize more than just painting, more than just statue. In our imagination, in our mind, we create ourselves Guru Rinpoche, the best Guru Rinpoche figure or form, and then recite the mantra. And remember, we are asking all our wishes fulfilled, all our fulfillment of all our wishes. So that is what our reason connecting with Guru Rinpoche. So keep that in our mind, and then we're gonna recite the mantra again. And when we recite mantra, I like to hear your voice. Other time, I don't want you to talk too much, especially harmful things for somebody else. Not much to do with you. And we spend a tremendous time and energy every day. It's go chuto. The word Chuto means somebody else's business, somebody else behave, somebody else what they say, what they do. We are pretty much involved with that, and we are not hardly involved with our own purification, our own improvement, our own problem, how to solve our own problem. We only looks like we are acting like we know everything what's happening outside there. And we're talking about everybody's business. And normally we're not talking about two good things about them. For most part, we talk about very much negative things about others. Nirvana Sutra and teaching saying, if some reason you like to be a practitioner, then you only concentrate on your own improvement and wishing everybody is doing good. Other than that, don't explain, don't talk, don't involve with somebody else. You have nothing to do with it. Recite mantra. Om Ahom Vedam Guru Sema Hom. 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 Om Ahom Vedam Guru Now, first part is we're going to pray to the precious Guru Udayana that spontaneously fulfill all wishes. When we say all wishes, my connotation is I and all living beings. That means I and all living beings. So if there is improvement, if there is a purification take place, then I want everybody equally purified, including myself. I am not asking special purification myself. I am not asking special recognition me. I'm not asking my own well-being. If there is a well-being, if there is a benefit, I want all living beings equally benefit as much as I benefit. And no questions asked, and no exception whatsoever. Period. So now, Emma Ho, can you read the English version of the whole thing?
Sure.
Because everybody meditate and observe the meaning of what we read. Please.
Imaho, on the glorious mountain in the southwest, the supreme pure realm, you are Guru Padmanakara, embodiment of all the victors. Please heed my prayers and look kindly on the beings of this degenerate age, this darkest of times. Upon the sun, moon, and lotus-seated my crown, you are my root teacher, precious Guru of Udayana. Surrounded by the masters of the oral lineages, to you I pray. Purify my evil karma. Grant your blessing so all my wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. In the Eastern Palace of beautiful to behold, you are the medicine Buddha, precious Guru of Udayana, surrounded by the 8 lordly physicians with the retinues of Vidyadharas. To you I pray. Pacify every type of illness. Grant your blessing so all my wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. In the palace of wisdom, fire ablaze, you are the most supreme Haruka, precious Guru of Udayana, surrounded by fierce male and female deities. To you I pray. Bestow the cities. Grant your blessing so all my wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. In the palace of fivefold light, celestial and pure, you are the Lord of Dakinis, precious Guru of Udayana, surrounded by Dakinis of wisdom and the world. To you I pray. Dispel all obstacles, outer and inner. Grant your blessing so all my wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. On a throne of evil foes and forces suppressed, you are the Lord of protectors, precious Guru of Udayana, surrounded by Dharma protectors, wisdom and worldly. To you I pray. Put a halt to the troubles and strife of this age. Grant your blessing so all my wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. In the palace of ever-precious treasure, you are the fount of city, precious Guru of Udayana, surrounded by wealth deities and treasure lords. To you I pray. Shower down a rain of cities. Grant your blessing so all my wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. In the realm of Tibet, the land of snows, you are the binder of demons, precious Guru of Udayana, surrounded by 8 commanded ones and lords of the earth. To you I pray. Repel the armies at our borders. Grant your blessing so all my wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. In great bliss palace, blazing lotus light, you are Lord Amitabha, precious Guru of Udayana, surrounded by Buddhas and their heirs throughout space. To you I pray, lead us to the realm of lotus light. Grant your blessing so all my wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Om Ahum, Vajraguru, Pema, Siddhi Hum. Avert the magic of the sun, moon, planets, and stars above. Avert malevolent earth guardians, nagas, and yin below. Avert harm from the tsin and mamos in between. Banish all types of illness associated with the 4 elements. Avert all armies from every direction of the compass. Maria, Yo, avert, avert. In the future, all beings, whether ordained or lay, who persist in this prayer with constancy, will be freed from debilitating sickness, spirit harm, and untimely death. Obstructors, with and with, will be pacified. And in the future, I, Yin, will embrace you with my compassion. Harbor no doubts or hesitations about this, for this is my, Padma's heart advice, and that is for certain.
Thank you for reading. It helps me. Now recite Guru Rinpoche mantra and a little bit faster way. Om Ahom Benza Guru Sema Sede Om Ahom Benza Guru Sema Sede Om Om Ahom Benza Guru Sema Sede Om Om Benza Guru Sema Sede Om Om Ahom 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 Benza Guru Sema Sede Om Om Ahum Benza Guru Benma Siddhi Om. 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 Here comes with the visualization of Guru Rinpoche as I talked a little earlier. So whatever you can visualize Guru Rinpoche, now is the time. And synthetic paper, Chunyin Burdun, synthetic the paper chow, synthetic the paper, synthetic the dushak, Chutupundun, synthetic the dushak. If you wish to hear Dharma, then concentrate one-pointedly. Your mind should altogether focus on one thing, and this time Guru Rinpoche visualization. So let's do that now. So now I would like to talk about Guru Rinpoche activities, Guru Rinpoche's energy, and Guru Rinpoche's manifestation. Now, hopefully we are all ready to hear that. So, Padamami Chutrupo Jodachemi Jamsu Long Song, Guru Rinpoche, I want to share with what I hear, what I connect with, is Guru Rinpoche born and miraculously and in realm of Manjinjik Dinjukam. Manjinjik Dinjukam, our realm, maybe we can just say our realm. But then our realm, everybody's realm is different. But I was visualizing that we are sharing the same realm for everybody. So in our realm, Guru Rinpoche appeared miraculously, and he wasn't dependent on the father and mother the way we know, where we see. So he born and miraculously, and his manifestation of Guru Rinpoche already have a far more advanced than just you and me, what we talking about here. Pardon me, Chu. So he born miraculously. He doesn't need to possess anything because he owns everything. In other words, he has everything, so he is never urged, he never come to notice he need anything. Does not need anything. In the human realm, apart from that, in the human realm, if you and I, if we know, cut down our needs less and less, then we have less and less problem. When we have needs are multiple and many, and then we have stress and suffering is multiple, simply we can't get everything what we want. Even we get something, that may not last too long, and that may also bring a side effect, which you didn't really know there is a side effect. Side effect is like if you're looking for money, and certainly you have lots of money, that somehow you have a lot of money. Now you're worried because somebody might take that away from you. Now you cannot even sleep. You cannot trust anybody because you don't know where to hide it, because you have major issue right now. Whereas before you didn't have money, you want money, but you can peacefully sleep somewhere because there is nothing you can lose, because you have nothing to lose. So this is just a little example where you can relate it with it. Every human attachment, we're talking about human because we look like human, and we walk like human, we talk like human. So we are in a human. Every human problem that we have is something related to oneself. If you don't have ego, if you don't have a notion of I need, my. If you don't have that, tell me how can you experience a problem? Because you don't have any problem. The problem is your attachment. Everything you attach to is the problem. So this is another example for all of you, all of us, not only all of you, all of us. We need to remember that here maybe I will share the sutra teaching saying, Tube yindung sebe zausan je, jibe randung dube korwan jia, dini jene chebar du, Buddha, Bodhisattva, always help all sentient beings. They are concerned about others' well-being. and they become Buddha. And the Jibba means those who are very confused and doesn't understand Dharma well. Those who are confused and doesn't understand Dharma benefit. It's like a little innocent, naive, innocent child, maybe 1-year-old child, 2-year-old child. Only care about himself and herself because they can't care everybody else. All unenlightened beings is that category, the little 1-year-old. Morning until night and 24-hour day, they are worried and concerned for himself, herself. Not much to do with others' welfare. So it says that to begin, Buddha serve and help all sentient beings, result he become Buddha. We cherish ourselves and thinking about I, and we end up fall in the samsara. It's just really unbelievable, immeasurable pain and suffering in the samsara. And we experiencing that. It's not we like to do it, it's what we choose. Remember when you are 1-year, 2-year-old child, you're acting like that when it comes to the Dharma understanding. So that's what they say. So that's from the sutra teaching. But now I am going back to the Pema Katha and Guru Rinpoche life story. The first part of the Guru Rinpoche life story I would like to share about is something to do with Guru Rinpoche manifestation, and particularly the section of Guru Rinpoche's manifestation here is the Opami Buddha Amitabha, the manifestation of Buddha Amitabha connection with the Guru Rinpoche. And you might visualize beginning of the beginning where the Guru Rinpoche appeared. So, we need to talk about source of Guru Rinpoche going back to Buddha Amitabha. Now, who is Buddha Amitabha? Buddha Amitabha is one of 5 Dhyana Buddha. Where are the 5 Dhyana Buddha? They are located in 4 directions and 1 in the center. Buddha, 5 Dhyana, there's a 5, 1 in the center, 4 in the 4 directions, 4 major directions. So, this is a Guru Rinpoche life story. They might have hundreds of chapters here. And I am talking from page 24, chapter 2, or we can call lesson, L-E-S-S-O-N, lesson 2, lesson number 2. It is called Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche. And Guru Rinpoche manifestation from Amitabha. So, page 24. And I will read And if I feel like to talk, I'll talk. If I feel like just keep reading, I'll be keep reading. Hoping you understand Tibetan just fine. Shangde sanje oba meba ye, jikten jarpo la so tikba chin, kang sem cheve, jang durve sar. So it was the realm of Amitabha. Long. This is something what I understand, teeny tiny understanding, or maybe my understanding. It could be wrong, but my understanding is billions, trillions, kalpas ago, there was the realm of Amitabha. In the Amitabha realm, they're going to have something happen about Guru Rinpoche. So that's the excitement part is. At that time, there are many kings, and Khullu Jurpajao Chakravarti means the kings are so powerful for continents ruled by different kings, kind of thing. And all these kings are not necessarily enlightened beings. They have virtues, they have merit, but they have a lot of power. They can damage, they can harm others tremendously. They have a lot of arrogance, they have a lot of power, but they also have a lot of ego. Each king has a. You can see that right this century, most kings and most leaders, they have a lot of ego. So you can relate with that. That particular Devachin realm is called Pema Devachin Shanghansa. Lotus Devachin realm of lotus and realm of lotus. Also, was it Marpo Jerputor? The Amitabha crown chakra, he is wearing the crown of Payadayana Buddha. So, within Marpo Jerputor, so there is in his crown generating lights. And this light is a powerful light, a red light. And this king is a Dharma king, and this Dharma king manifests from the Amitabha crown chakra. He is a king of hundreds of kings. So he was like a Chakrasambhava. He's just like a king of all the kings. He conquered all 4 continents and he enjoyed the abundance of God realm. Just like God realm. He enjoyed that God realm. Surrounded with 1,000 queens, but nobody have any son, and no son delivered. But all the king and king himself and 1,000 queens, they have nothing other than Dharma activities. All Dharma activities. Means northwest border, there is a called lake, L-A-K-E, lake, but it's like it's a milk lake. Milk lake. Janso tela meto pemaji. In the middle of the milk lake, and a huge lotus flower appeared. Janso tela meto pemaji. Jebu konjon cheba jebala. Because the king and his Ratno, 1,000 queens, they worship for Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Meto lembu kopo tane so. They want to see the flower is growing and they want to collect that flower someday. And so Meto lembu kopo netane, and he sent to somebody make sure that flower is guarded. Meto lane jabu chadapon, and that one flower, lotus, picked it up and gave it to the king, and who has 1,000 queens. And said, "Metotlan jabu chadapon, jabu konjo rong pro." And king immediately offered to the Buddhism Bodhisattva 10 direction, basically 5 Dhyana Buddha, which represents the Amitabha, like that. Then it says, "Jabu konjo rong du pro ala sonje weba me jajang." When king offered the lotus flower to the 10 direction Buddha, or four direction Buddhas, the Amitabha realm, where Buddha Amitabha, one has 5 crown chakras, his tongue come out, his tongue stretch, his tongue come out of his mouth. Jajane, was it kadot nadin jansun, hundreds of types of color, rainbow come out of Buddha Amitabha mouth when he opened his tongue. Guess what? All these lights, different colors, multiple hundreds different colors, benefiting hundreds of millions of sentient beings. It looked like an ocean coming out of mouth of the Amitabha. Namjik tuna meto lembaya. Namjik tuna meto lembaya. Namjik tuna meto lembana. Punya meto linde chimpu tse. Zuyen na peidong chimpu ji. And then when they stop, middle of the milk lake, the huge lotus flower, but it's a single huge lotus flower grow there or appear there. And so huge lotus flower. Peme yaka good shopas. Peme yaka means branches and leaves of the lotus flowers are as big as a vulture's wing. Vulture's wing. All directions. Peme yaka good shopas. Loma portam te cherna. There have a lot of leaves. Loma portam te cherda. Middle of that flower, nyubo kache mebo kumbatsam. Middle of the lotus flower, there is a middle, there is a flower, but that flower is not opening. Udam waran meto tenyeno. It is more beautiful than flowers that is in Devachin. It's called flowers that only appear eye of enlightened beings. And that seed or that young flower, that one is not open now, is like that. So Udam Varan Meto Tenyela. Udam Varan Meto Tenyela. You're going to kind of much of winter as well as a summer. No matter how season change, it's not opening that flower. And the king who is worship the Buddhas in 3-4 directions, he really want to see that flower opens up. So he put a lot of protectors, make sure day and night guard the milk light so that nobody interrupt that flower. So winter and summer they guard it, and nobody, they're 24-hour guard there. You're going to kind of match it. Punya waka yansin chenes see the protectors or guards. They're surprised and nothing happening. So they went back to the king and told them that it's the same every day. It's not changing anything. What to do? Punya waka yansin chenes cheta wajen jerdu nyin so. So they reported to the king that is surrounded by 1,000 queens. And then Jaco tella nyerka chinje song. Jaco tella nyerka chinje song. So king says, please guard it and no interrupt. And then the king also thought maybe we not seeing what we should see. There is some problem with ourselves. It's nothing to do with the flower, lotus flower, middle of the milk leg. It's something to do with the perceiver. So he worried and he prayed Buddha's Bodhisattva to interaction again. Maybe a pure aspect of mind can precede this flower, not samsara mind can seed this flower. They have day and night divided into 3, 4, 6 parts and huge guards guard these flowers in middle of the lake. Nyansin going to Tuxun Sungwa Jaws. Tilo Chinda Jiva Sijagland means it's a monkey year, springtime. Springtime, but it's a monkey year. Meto Pema Kaji Choja Wu. Then this flower, the middle of the lotus flower opened up. And now surprise is there. When they open the lotus flower, it is showing different petals in all four directions. There were 5 petals within inside, and each petal has one bodhisattva. And one bodhisattva, baby bodhisattva appeared. Chu kado manda ngajong. Ota torcho tananga, they're all tied up here, and they are cute, and they're so small, and they are lightning, like rainbow, shining. Oh, ota torcho tananga ejin. Tananga ejin. Tananga ejin is the 5 types of silk tied up their hair. Unantena shana kanate. Now they're talking about each east, west, south, and north of those babies. Those are bodhisattva babies are color they are talking about. So, basically white, black, Tanka means in between, those kind of color. First, U means the middle of there. Then, Flo means south, and then Chang is the west, and so south, west, and north, different color with a different generating that bodhisattva baby, and they report that immediately went to the king who has surrounded with 1,000 queens, and reported. Then Japo Jid Namjur mountain, he was so happy, he felt like he achieved enlightenment. So he happy and he rushed and he want to go there. Kanji Singe Karmo Ngalante, he born line, it's called the snow line, and 5 snow line from the garden he born, and he want to go there with those 5 snow line and bring those babies in his palace. So he go there, Kanji Singe Karmo Ngalante, Tamcho Ngaja. Then the rest of the king's minister, Tamcho Ngaja means 500 horse and wheel with all kinds of wheel, and they all come to the milk lake to greet the 5 baby bodhisattvas. Tamcho Ngaja trupe, Tamcho Ngaja trang sinh da, Tamcho Ngaja trang sinh da. Tamcho Ngaja 500 horse and wheel. Tamcho Ngaja Shingdal. Doyo Ngayan Chupa Pamito. God and human, all good things that the king possesses, he's ready to make offering to these 5 bodhisattvas. Doyo Ngayan Chupa Pamito. Jarbutumu Limpo Pondaji. All 1,000 queens and then the minister, they are all team up. Sanje Oba Mela Korjet. Sanje Oba Mela Korjet. So this is the manifestation of Amitabha. So they thank for the Amitabha, a gratitude and recognition, respect. And then Omachinja Sokar Chimbana, they arrive to the lake of the milk. There. Homa Tinchon so Karachin Birch. Chew Mama Minjur Mayowa. Chew Mama Minjur Mayowa. Paymutin Zundan Woodenbar. They are generating light like a sun and a moon coming out. But those bodhisattva babies are, no one is moving, no one is talking. They are generating light all directions. And king so happy, and he began to praise his own word. Are you ready for that? If you say you are ready for that, now Emaho. Emaho. So Emaho means surprise and wonderful. Now first, before I do what the king phrase, say good worship, prayer for the 5 bodhisattva, you recite the mantra. Om Ahom Benza Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. 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 Ready to talk more. Time flies. Emaho. Can you repeat? Emaho. Emaho. The king is surprised and joy and happy to spontaneously the Doha, the praise to the Pai Bodhisattva, which is a manifestation of Amitabha, praying, and so do you and I, because we have a little connection. If we do not have any connection with the Guru Rinpoche, and this practice, we will not even hear the text, sutra of Guru Rinpoche life story. It's all appear automatically for you and me. Is we already have little connection. Because of that we hear and we understand a little bit. And we have little faith, we have little devotion, and we have little wisdom for that. It's all because of that. So keep that in mind. Now it says, Lo no uma jinja jamso le. North, south, border, milk lake of milk or milk lake. Pe don't say la chiu na tong jeng. Middle of the flower, there are 5 baby bodhisattvas appeared. There are 5 bodhisattva babies appeared or took birth. Took a birth of 5 bodhisattvas, middle of the flower in the milk lake. Mishikun la longchu zoge jin. Each these bodhisattva appear to be Sambhogakaya Buddha appearances. Appearances is a Sambhogakaya Buddha. Now Sambhogakaya means that has a crown and also ornaments, and Sambhogakaya Buddha is Buddha's 3 manifestations. And Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. So all these 5 bodhisattva babies or young ones, little ones, has ornament with the Sambhogakaya Buddha ornament. Sambhogakaya Buddha. Lungju zoge jin. Sanje malun dupa tsuktor chen. Tsuktor means that the crown chakra shows that there are manifestation of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 3 times. Past, present, future, all Buddhas are all into one, because each one of these crown chakra indicates that. Pema june shegen rabda she. Pema june. Bodhisattva, one who took birth from lotus, and we can call that name, means lotus bone. Lotus bone. Pema june shegen rabda. Kun jachont our rabda dang. The physical appearances is none other than a rainbow body. Each one of these bodhisattvas is, if you look carefully, closely, it's a rainbow body. And it is beyond human flesh. It's not like a human body. It is beyond any body, but it's a rainbow body. It forms celestial body or rainbow body. Couldn't Jatung do the rather than very attractive, very powerful, magnetizing color. And the sound coming from this 5 bodhisattva is the melody of Brahma, melody of God, and enlightened sound. In other words, he just hearing the sound of this bodhisattva, 5 bodhisattva, it purifies individual all negative karma that we accumulate with our speech. all purified. Changpa Suyang Sanji Songdar Chi, none other than the voice of Buddha. All of them is the voice of Buddha. And the voice of Buddha is a mantra. And a mantra is penetrate all three realms and all blessed by the sound of the mantra. Rabda Kartsin Lungyang Nampan Zi Kartsin. They are talking about the attributes and color of those five bodhisattvas. Rabda Kartsin Zongyang number. If you look at each one of these bodhisattvas, baby bodhisattva closely, they are looking at you with a smile. Because the humans don't smile for everybody, because if you do, the people will say, "What's wrong with you?" They think you are not normal, you are crazy, because you smile without reason. So, because the whole world is designed to angry each other, and you doing different than that, so what's wrong with you? You're smiling. And I personally had a couple times people ask me, "What's wrong with you? You're so happy." That is my problem, yes. Anyway, Pema June Shejan Rabdo She Pema June Shejan Pema June born from lotus. Shejan Rabdo She means peaceful bodhisattva born from lotus flower. Kunan Jachung do the Rabdo Dan. And it said Soma Katsin Zumya Namparanzi. So that beauty is beyond words. Shan Nyajian David Chinkuranda. Shar means that the face of each of these bodhisattvas is like a moon shining, and you can't hold too long because it's so shining, so beautiful. Daje means moon. David Chinkuranda. David Chinkuranda means moon when shining, they have a circle on the moon, circle round the moon. Similar with each of these bodhisattva face, when you look at it, there is a circle on it, just like that. Kina rangye changna lange wa, droa yongje wonje tukje da. Droa yongje tukje wonje was in the protector of all living beings. All living beings means that those teeny tiny ones under the earth, those teeny tiny ones in the air, and those teeny tiny ones in the water. Did you know that the most populated area is ocean? And the second most populated area is air. Third most populated area is earth. And then rest of other living beings are within that range, space, all of that. So, no one is more powerful than in the universe than enlightened being. And these five bodhisattva manifestation of Amitabha possess that. Pema June Nandawa, the son of Buddhas, lotus born bodhisattva, Dana Yundi Jeba Manitu. The king says, "I want to say good things, but I can't. I'm speechless. I cannot find a word that's suitable with to praise you. You are beyond power, you are beyond that." And the five bodhisattva began to talk back to the king. Sanjay Opa means Latisha song. If you want to know more about us, you must talk to Amitabha Buddha. We are manifestation of Amitabha Buddha. Why don't you talk to Amitabha Buddha? Then you figure out. Sanje Obama the teacher song. Then Japo Chu not Chua. And Pai Bodhisattva asked question there. Obama Kuncho Tramami. Obama Kuncho Tramami. Buddha Amitabha is stainless, means no fault, no negative karma, no fault, pure. Sanje Suni Jarbit Samparanju, Sanje Songhi Jarbit Samparanju. Buddha's voice is soothing and purifying as soon as you hear it. All your negative karma of past life, present life, everything will be forgiven. In other words, they are automatically removed. It's like the darkness of the cave disappeared as soon as the sun rises or light comes. All the darkness has no place to hide. They must go. Like that. Then it says, Sanje Suni Jabbe Samparanju. Sojun Jikti Tana comes over, Sanje Kuso Chu Ndenga Song. Sojun Jikti Tana comes over. Buddha's Bodhisattva 10 direction are part of these 5 bodhisattvas represents. And this 5 bodhisattva is a manifestation of Amitabha Buddha. The form of the Buddha represents these 5 bodhisattvas. Remember, rainbow body, slashy body. Sanje kunjun dinga hiso ne sanje oba mege emao oba me begin to sing oba me begin kyaptan travel korwar chowale kyaptan travel korwale helpless wandering sentient beings in a samsara. Usually there are 3 types of samsara. Desire realm, form realm, formless realm. 3 types of, it's also called 3 Jiti Swam, 3 types of universe or 3 types of the realm. Form. All helpless sentient beings, protector is a Buddha's Bodhisattva. So it said, those do not have protectors of 3 realms, those who do not find a way to enlightenment, way to liberation. Sentient beings are wandering in a samsara. They do not have a goal. They do not have designated place. They are wandering around endlessly, and it's called cyclic existence. Birth, old age, sickness, death determine your karma. Born in a different realm, go around and around, and kind of find a liberation to get out. So it says, Nemi Temi means they do not know where they are, they do not know where they're going, they do not know where they came from, they do not have any purpose of life, is just animal, just like all animals. They kind of day to day, they try to eat something, and somebody eat, so be it, and so somebody chop you, so be it, and you don't know what's going on. Just like all animals in our plate, that's how we eat. So here it says, wisdom of all Buddha's bodhisattvas turn into 5 bodhisattvas. Now the 5 bodhisattvas is manifestation of Amitabha is going to help countless sentient beings in the future. Those who are concerned about cycle of life, this teaching is presented. Benefit all sentient beings who are wondering why they have to go through birth and old age sickness. This is for them. There is a countless types of teaching and powerful teaching, but the essence is here. The Vajrayana teaching is so powerful because you have to be reach the level of where you can hear Vajrayana teaching. Vajrayana teaching is not for everybody. The Vajrayana teaching, in order to hear, you have to be qualified to hear Vajrayana teaching. Because otherwise, if you not reach that level, Vajrayana teaching you will never hear. Even you have 100 lifetimes spending with the Vajrayana practitioners, you don't see any Vajrayana teaching, you don't feel the connection at all, you have no idea. The only you make yourself Vajrayana suitable listener, suitable student, you have to reach higher level where you can hear the Vajrayana teaching. It is your responsible to hear the Vajrayana. It is your responsible to understand Vajrayana if you want to be Vajrayana student. It says that Jizu Sunna this Vajrayana Buddha Bodhisattva will talk about Jizu. Jizu means a development state. Zoram is accomplishment state. And all these teachings are available when you are available to hear. If you are not available to hear, you don't hear Vajrayana teaching. Only those who are suitable to hear Vajrayana teaching, they will the one hear. Jesus so they shared that with the king and the Bodhisattva, Bhai Bodhisattva, una chivu dorje, Tuntenza. Dejan Buddha Rina Temono, Karma Tuntenza than Rerele, Koson, Tuyun, Chenle, Natem, Teda Kuchi, Naji La Sopa, Jitin Yin maybe Tunjo so, Denga Chinesa, Turba Ye, Kurlo Jurve, Jarpo, Anguncho. And then it says that in a future, the Chinese manifestation will help all sentient beings. Also part of the five Dhyana Buddha. And the five Dhyana Buddha is a part of five Bodhisattva. Five Bodhisattva is a manifestation of Buddha Amitabha. Buddha Amitabha. Okay. And then, so then they say, here I don't want to translate because it's hard to translate here. Then they invite the five snow line. Remember the 500 horse wheel. Now the five bodhisattva invited in the king's palace. It says that time is up. Chu Pudan the Jinton, the Gesumata, the Chu Singitang, the Chinese Tang, Lala Chetan, Lala Sejer, Lala Jango, Lala Rumopa de Mevaya, music and incense and God and demigod rum, music, generate, and then the five bodhisattva preside in a line throne, and they begin to preside there. So it says Lala Changala, so the God and goddess music and parade. Zambo. Then it says Zambo Joga Lancho Zambo Choga Lancho Lahe. So Urging group Eman June Jerab number about lay Sanje Webami Jutruba Sanje Webami. So it's all after all the five Dhyana Buddha, five Bodhisattva, and a king who is who records the going through the lotus flower in the milk lake, all of those 1,000 queens, all of this is none other than Buddha Amitabha manifestation. Now recite the mantra, everybody. One more. This is a lesson or a chapter 9, and I quote here page 94 or 95 in from life story of Guru Rinpoche here. So I will share a little bit here with you since I translate so nicely. It may not be nice, but that's all I can do. My English understand, just like you may have a limitation with understanding Tibetan. So we all have a limitation, and I have a limitation there. So anyway, here I'm on page 95 and the regional Guru Rinpoche life story. Tene kunjin kunza kunda chang. Tene kunjin kunza kunda ching. This is means the one who sees everybody and one who knows everybody. We are talking about Buddha. We are talking about omniscience. Just keep that in the mind. In order to benefit the omniscient Buddha, man and woman, practitioners, we have to have faith and devotion. If we do not have faith and devotion, we're not going to benefit anything because you are not interested. Period. So that means a lot of people do prayer. And a lot of people do prayer, but you really need to be, are you qualified to do that? Are you a seasoned practitioner or are you regular practitioner? Seasoned means when you have problem, you do prayer. It looks like you're inviting a doctor or mechanic when your house broke down. So you invite. But the other time when you have no problem with your house, you don't really bother them. Dharma practitioner is different. The 24-hour day, we have to remember the Buddha's Bodhisattva power, and we need to remember our practice. Otherwise, we will not become a practitioner. We will be just kind of spectators. Is that word there? It's called spectator. Means just observing distance and see what's happening. Yeah. They can say, oh, I saw some horse people went there and some people walking there. I saw like that. That's it. Your Dharma maybe is like some people walking there, that's kind of thing. So here, Tepa, paid. Sangha Lami Dorje Tikpa Tin. Vajrayana teaching is a seal for most of sentient beings. Even in the human realm, the number is very little. And for you to understand and hear that, you have to be very, very lucky, and you earn it. The way you earn it is that your previous life, you have connection with the Vajrayana teaching and continue that interest, that growing, and that is the reason you connect with the Vajrayana teaching here. So that's what it is. Sangat Dorje time. Vajrayana teaching is available. Vajrayana teaching is nobody hiding from nobody. It's just automatically oneself is shut down. Possibility to understand Vajrayana completely shut down. All the doors are closed down. There is no way to understand like that. Oneself, it's called seal. So sacred outlook means it's nobody hiding from secret, hiding from you. It is your karma. Your qualification is making difficult to understand and make connection with that. That's just briefly talking about that. Transit chiu lama tsenpu pa lai pu tamba toka hijawa. Son of the God. Tamba toka means that white sun. Sun is S-O-N, sun. And so in the beginning, here is saying one of the Guru Rinpoche's manifestation is, so he become a Laipu, means son of the God. Tambatoka means white. Tambatoka. One the Chuachimbo Yipati. So he received 4 types empowerment. Yonson Zimba gave it once, First empowerment is he received the complete wisdom and teachings from spiritual friend. That what he or she does not have, received completely from someone else, which means Gevishini, means a spiritual guru or teacher. Bonzo Ziba may be Gehida. So you want to there is the outer empowerment you received because you have to have faith and devotion there. You understand the Dharma text, all the text essence you understand without depend on the text. Inner empowerment is that you understand the Sambhogakaya and you receive the Sambhogakaya empowerment every practice you do. Nanga chaje longchu zogu. Rigbatsarwa wanga tamla, Rigbatsarwa yadan lai wan. Rigbatsarwa means empowerment for your intelligence, your innate mind. You receive the empowerment called secret empowerment. Because you receive that, now you are qualified to practice, become Buddha. Yunzo Sajat, 95. Yunzo Sajat Chenpo Choga, when you receive the Mahamudra empowerment, Dzogchen empowerment, and Mahamudra empowerment, because you qualify at that point. After you receive the 10 types of empowerment, you become a Vajra, unshakable, unchangeable. We are talking about ultimate Buddha nature. means what the Buddha has, we have. We are not enlightened because we are still asleep, and Buddha is enlightened being, he's already awake. That's different. After we receive 10 empowerment, we become a Bajra, means that we will never are confused. Because we have Bajra mind, we have Buddha mind. Kunga Danye Lami Dorjin Chang. Kunga means 5 kayas. The holder of 5 kayas is a Vajradhara. Now we are part of Vajradhara. Kunga Danye Lami Dorjin Chang. Yung Tawa Jinjong. Munjang Yung Tawa Jinjong. Munjang Go. Mumperjeboko means that go beyond all concepts, go beyond all the views, all concepts. There is no view, there is no doctrine. That. Go. Theta going over, theta going over, Kurjane, then a Kurwana. So there is 2 types of empowerment. The Tambatoka means the Son of God received. One is all types of empowerments for personal for him because of from the Vajrayana perspective for him, personal empowerments. And then there is 10 empowerments for benefit sentient beings and everybody. So here is saying, general empowerment for all practitioners. 10 empowerments. Those are Tsela Wangurva. First practice Guru Rinpoche. Then you receive empowerment for your longevity. In other words, avoid untimely death. Those are Tsela Simchi Chen send the one your Simchi Chen send the one your Simchi Sarna send the one your way Namka Zuju temperature. Simchi Sarna, when you know your mind, then you receive empowerment of your mind. Empowerment of your mind when you recognize your mind. If you don't recognize your mind, you don't get empowerment for your mind. Namkan zu sa yoga nyingor wan namkan zu sar. Yoje nyingor namkan zu means treasure in space is limitless. Space is boundaryless. That kind of material resources are available when you go beyond attachment. In other words, because you own treasure of universe, so you don't really looking for anything anymore because you own it. Namkan dosa yoje, and means that you receive the empowerment of abundance. It says in a human that even human, if you are not rich, but you never suffer poorness, poverty. That means you may, physically you may not be rich, but mentally you experience richness all the time. Whereas some could be very rich material way, but they are always experiencing poverty. Because what they own is not really bringing happiness for him or her. So they are that. And I don't want to talk too long there. Dangko Dutsa Yoga Ninko, Pakya Tangche. Next is a Pakya Tangche Lej Lamche Sara. Pakya when you transcend, so when you get rid of bad negative habits, habit, then you receive empowerment for karma. Now, any karma you create, you have power. Before, your karma, you want to change, but you cannot change because you didn't get rid of your bad habits that you accumulated since the beginning of this time. This is empowerment. If you cut the negative path, refuse to follow, and you follow the choosing path, then what happened here is now your samadhi will be effective. Your meditation become effective. Before, why is not effective? Because you didn't cut the negative karma, reverse of negative karma. You didn't stop. You keep doing it. So now it works because your samadhi will be more powerful and your samadhi will be beneficial. And this is another empowerment. Something kesar kevo on kor. Something kesar kevo on kor. Kevo on kor means that kevo means birth. What is the birth? What is the death? When you see the root of birth and the root of the death, then you transcend that you are no longer concerned about birth and death. Because the birth and the death is a notion, it's a namtok, it's a concept that we scared and we worry about it. Ultimately, we didn't birth, we didn't death. It is appear to be birth and death. One good word. Now, as next, Lundro Joba Tosa Zuntorkor, spontaneously, you will see some miracles, some result, and you will begin to possess this power if you are no longer confused. If you are confused, you can't experiencing miracles and power. And those are all the time take place, but you won't notice that. It's not available for you. So it says, miracle performance, you will see there is a miracle happening every day. That is another empowerment. Separ kienji topsar mupa kur, separ kienji, topsar kienji chuni is a 12 part of our mind related to our physical, sensory, all of those transcends. Separate, topsar mupa one kurba. Mupa means that basically whatever you like to wish will be accomplished because you have what it takes to do that. And why you didn't have before? Because before you are wishy-washy. You are not fully concentrated. Because you have a dual mind, means that you're holding two things at the same time. And not fully appreciated. You are not fully understanding. Because of that, everything you do is not a very good result. Now, you are let it go one part completely, then totally dedicate to one thing, and then things done correctly. So that's what they're talking about. All praise will be beneficial for you, beneficial all sentient beings, because it comes from genuine clear faith, devotion mind. Until now, you pray, but the prayers are also kind of wishy-washy, not too powerful. Lunga yeje letu yishikor, your body, speech, mind become a more wisdom, more involved with the wisdom. Lunga yeje letu yishikor, chuyan tapan nanya training, because Dharmakaya, there is no good and bad. In the Dharmakaya, ultimate truth, there is no good or bad. The good and bad is down here, where we stuck. It says, "Lunga yeje letu yishikor." Everything becomes wisdom. Your body, speech, mind, effort is transformed into wisdom. And now, Chuyang Yanda, ultimate Dharmakaya, reveal, and there is no stain, there is nothing wrong with it. It's so pure, it's perfect. Chula wanga onga chu koro, chula wanga chu koro. These are the 10 empowerments available for the practitioners of Buddha Dharma if you are qualified. If you are not qualified, they can't make you qualified. You and I have to make ourselves qualified. Serva Mangalam. Now there is a 25 empowerments, but I really ran out of my voice, so I think that's enough translation. Now we do mantra. Om Ahom Benza Guru Pema Siddhi 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 Om Ahom Benza Guru Now, did you have the correct one?
Yes.
Can you lead chanting that? And please lead that unze. Maybe Jays will be unze for this chanting. Om Ahom Benzai Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. 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 Now we visualize Guru Rinpoche inseparable with Amitabha, inseparable with the five Bodhisattvas, represents the five Dhyana Buddha, beginning of the Kalpa, how Amitabha Buddha manifests to reach out all sentient beings who are wandering in the samsara. So, I think we finish the talk, and maybe I'll take any question anybody need to clarification or any other question, Dharma practice question. You need to go near the computer, that way everybody hears, and hopefully your question is also very beneficial for many people.
Lama, so were the five bodhisattvas, were they giving empowerment to the king?
Yes.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Yes, the empowerments, the Amitabha Buddha empowerment received by the king, but the five bodhisattva is the manifestation of Amitabha empowerment. The king and all sentient beings who are qualified to practice Vajrayana, and so Mahayana, Vajrayana, or Bodhayana, Sutra tradition, and Tantric tradition. Sutra tradition is Buddha Shakyamuni. Tantric tradition is Guru Rinpoche. And both Buddha equally important, and one involved with the sutra tradition and one involved with the tantric tradition, but equally both important and no differences whatsoever. So we receive empowerment all the time if you know how to ask empowerment. It says in a sutra, Kange mube yeche pa te and then the topa yo. Wangara change it lapan jor. Every day, we receive empowerment. But if you don't ask, then you don't receive anything. Kange mube yeche pa te and then the topa yo means that when you invite a Buddha and Bodhisattva in your practice, in front of you or inside your mind, a Buddha appears. And Buddha, when appear, Buddha empower us energy of transmission based on our capacity, understanding, faith, and devotion. So Buddha is saying, I'm always with you, you don't see me, it's not my fault. Well, indirectly. I am always with you, especially when you call my name, I am inseparable with you. But you don't see me, it's not my fault. It is you need to figure out how you can see me. So the most people, in my opinion, I could be wrong, and I hope it's wrong, but the most people, they don't know what to wish to start with. And they don't know good from bad and bad from good. What they say they know about good from bad, bad from good, is everything is samsara, relative, confused state of the mind. And sutra and teaching saying, what it appeared to you, it's not necessarily it's like that. It's all illusion. What you believe is there is no root. What you believe in. What you believe in since the beginning of this time, you didn't get anywhere. No improvement. So Buddha is saying, you better believe something or better do something what your wisdom tells you to do. Because earlier I said motivation, attitude, and wisdom. We have to have wisdom, and wisdom is only how I can increase my wisdom. All practice you do entire your life is supposed to be consolidate and make your wisdom bigger. If you can't do that, then what practice you'll be doing? Entire your life, your practice, supposed to you make more smart, more wisdom. If that is not happening, what did you do? All 6 perfections that we practice is try to increase our wisdom. All 5, 6 perfections we do is last one, 6th one is wisdom, to make our wisdom more bigger and more clear, more bigger. That is the reason we practice generosity, patience, and patience, diligence, and samadhi, meditation. All these things we do. Why we do? Make our wisdom bigger. If that's not happening, then what you have been doing? They said more wisdom means more you make good things, and more wisdom means that you make less mistakes. If that's not happening, who you spending time with, your colleague or friend or family, always increase more negative, more anger, more jealous, more problem, then you are associated with the wrong one. Because that makes you more problem, and you're going where the more problem is. That approach means that why you choose a wrong friend. Wrong friend, negative friend, or dikpatobu means negative friend. Dikpatobu means that the way you commit negative things together with the group. Those are your negative friend. You associate with a negative friend, you're going to learn more that, and you're going to create more problem for yourself or everybody else. Well, Gevatobo, spiritual friend. If you find a teacher, if you find somebody always want to generate love, compassion, respect, and everybody there's learn wisdom more and more increase like waxing move. Then associate with that is a spiritual friend who leads you higher and higher. And somebody leads you lower and lower, don't follow with that. Choosing your spiritual friend, negative friend or spiritual friend is crucial because we do not have our own wisdom to start with without making any mistakes. Everything we say is a mistake, everything we think is wrong, everything we do is not good. What's going on? There's individual practitioner need to sort out, meditate and contemplate. You need to figure out yourself. Nobody going to tell you, because if somebody tell you that, you're going to have fight. So you are your responsible. And your mess is your responsible. Your karma is your responsible. Your happiness is your responsible. Don't ask somebody going to bring you happiness for you. Even though sometimes somebody give you a gift that make you happy, but they're not going to give you every day or every moment. So it's a limitation. What somebody don't give you any gift and used to get a gift, now you gift and now you're going through pay the consequences, and otherwise you're going through pain and suffering. So you are responsible. You are your own enemy, no other enemy. When you're going down to the hell realm, you choose to do it, and you should be happy with what you choose. And I'm reading the Heart Health, different sections. Nagarjuna, what he talked about, and also Shivala, Shantidev, what he talked about. If we know about the hell realm conditions, and that's where you're approaching, I don't think you will be very happy and calm eating food and sleeping. You will be very rash. You will be very concerned about that. But if you don't believe Buddha, Dharma, teaching, then there is nothing we can do about it. And since the beginning of this day, we didn't choose to do anything good things, so we are not choosing anything right now. Anyway, everybody make choice their life, and very little, whatever time we have. We need to be wise one. Sarva Mangalam. Sarva Mangalam. Sarva Mangalam. Sarva Mangalam. Finish.
There was one question in the chat from Lynette Proctor, and she asked, why does Guru Rinpoche have so many manifestations?
Tell her, every Buddha have many manifestations. It's a Guru Rinpoche is not only have many manifestations. His classic, most popular manifestation of Guru Rinpoche is 8 manifestation of Guru Rinpoche. And there is 8 manifestation of Guru Rinpoche is in Guru Rinpoche life story. And all these 8 are Guru Rinpoche is a different manifestation. Today we just talk about 5 Bodhisattva, 5 Dhyana Buddha aspect of Guru Rinpoche, Adi Buddha, the beginning of Buddha, the beginning of Amitabha Buddha, how they manifest with the help of the powerful king and 1,000 queens. That's what we shared. And my little understanding, Dharma, is when you reach a first bhumi, not 10 bhumi, first bhumi, you already can manifest 100 times manifestation of your own. And it's so interesting. Some are turning Dharma in a different realm, and some are turning Dharma in a different realm, and some are manifesting like a king and queen, some are manifesting trees and fruit trees, and some are manifesting food and lake and mediciner, all of those. And they have that many manifestations. The earth, the water, air, all manifestation of a Buddha, and they want to share with everybody, and you and I know they do share. We always benefit air, water, food, everything. What about if you say everything is none other than Buddha's emanation? Likewise. Sarva Mangalam. Sarva Mangalam. Sarva Mangalam. Sarva Mangalam.